So let's get started with our designs. The first thing we want to design is the login page, and yeah, so let's go ahead and just start building that. So on our app, what we just need to do is um, we need to do some few things right here. Um, let's just go ahead and whatever we're going to be doing, whatever we're going to be building, let's say all the pages we're going to be building, everything relating to the business logic of things, we're going to put them in a single folder called features. So we go and call the folder features, and basically this is where we're going to be putting everything relating to business logic. This is where we're going to be putting them. So in that feature, we want to create another folder called Auth. That's where we're going to have everything relating to our authentication. That's where we're going to put it. And right here in this Auth folder, I'm going to create another folder called um, let's just say, let's call it components. Let's just call it component. But before then, let me see what we can do. Okay, let's just create the page first. Okay, let's just create the page first, and before we start dividing it into components. So let's just quickly do that. We create the page first before we start dividing it into components, so that we know exactly where we are with things. So let me quickly just move this. Okay, let me quickly move this. Okay, so okay, so let's do that right now. So right here, let's just go ahead and create those pages. So instead of calling them pages, I'll just go ahead and for now, let's just call them routes. Uh, in that, we're going to create um, the login, the login page. Okay, login.css, and right here, let's just go ahead and export constant login. Okay, um, yeah. So right here, we just want to return some few GSS right here. We just want to return some few GSS, which we're going to be using for basically whatever we're doing. So right here, we want to have like a div, yeah, like a div, because what we want is for our login is that right here on we want to divide this page into two, and right here we want to have like a background image logo, and right here we want to have the form right here, the login form right here. So let's just keep that architecture in mind. So what we're going to do right now is that we're going to have a div. Okay, we're going to have a div, and we're going to call the class width of uh, full, uh, flex, flex colon, um, on a bigger screen we're going to have flex row. Okay, so we're just working on the responsiveness. Mean height is screen. Okay, so right here we have that. um, we can now go ahead and do something like this: class large on a big screen, 1/2, 1/2 width full large ish. So that should take the full height. I'm just going to go ahead and type the GSS out. um, relative. Okay, so that's it. And div class name, I'm just going to copy the CSS for that just to save time. Now is the CSS just to save time. And yeah, so we have two columns right now, and we can call this where the login form will be. This where the login form will be, login form, and this where the image will be, image. So if we go ahead and preview this right now, um yeah, we can preview this right now. Let me just go ahead and um use that. So right here we can say um login. We can just put the component right here, and if we should go back now, so you can see we have this right here. So this would be like an image or something, why this would be like why this would be where the form is, and we centralize that. So that's the whole point of doing that. So if we should go ahead and right now, let's just put like a background, give it like a background uh, image or something. So let's just say for this I want to give it a bg of let's say blue 600. Okay, and let's just take this out. So you can see one side of the screen is now on blue 600, and right here we can give it whatever we want. We can give it a logo, we can put a logo in there, we can do whatever we want right there. But for now, I'm just going to put a simple text right there, and I'll do h3 welcome to my app, something like that. Sure. So we have the welcome to my app right here. We can do whatever we want with it, but I'm just going to leave this the way it is right now. So the next thing we want to do is to cause is to also help build the next thing we want to do is to also build the registration page. So for the registration page, we want to repeat this layout, we want to use the same layout, but then we won't want to repeat ourselves. So we're going to put this layout that we just built right here, we're going to put it in a component. So right here we're going to say component. Okay, we're going to say components. Okay, we're going to have components, and in our component we're going to have layouts. Okay, this will be the layout for all the authentication pages. We're going to put it right here. So I'm going to copy this, and right here I'm going to paste this right here, and I'll call this auth layout. Okay, so in this auth layout, and right here, instead of having the form, we're just going to, what we're going to do is we're going to return the children from that layout. So we're going to create an interface for this. Let's just call it a type, and we call it layout props. Okay, and right here we're going to say something like this, and we're going to have children, 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 children. This will be optional, and this will have a type of React node. Okay, and that's it. And we can go ahead and destructure this part from our layout. Okay, so we call it layout props, and we destructure the children, and right here we just render the children right here, and we call this children. Okay, and this is all we need to do. We've created our component right now, and the next thing we can now do is to use that component that we've created. So to use that component is very simple. just come to your, let's go to our login page, and right here, doing all this again, I'm just going to have, instead of doing all this again, we're just going to call the auth layout. Okay, and basically this is everything we need to do. And within this, remember we're rendering the children, so let me just call this login page. So this is the login page right now, and if we should go back, nothing changes. You can see nothing changes, but the thing is we cannot duplicate this and also have the logout, the register page. We can have as many pages as we want. So yeah, so the next thing we need to do is to create the um, um, I'm thinking maybe we should go to, let's just design the login form for now, and from there we move to the register form. So for the login form, there are some couple of things that we need to install. We need to install some couple of packages. First, we need to install React Hook. We need to install some libraries that will let us listen to those forms. But before then, let's just focus on the design and see how the design will actually look like. So right here, I want to create a component, and this component, I'm going to call it login form css. And right here, instead of returning login, we just go ahead and return the login form. So this will be login form. We still yet to create that. So let me just copy this and right here paste that. This will be login form. Okay. We don't need all this. Let's just do some React fragments here and take this away. So right now we can now take in the login form right here. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Let me see, are we doing anything else? No. So this is what we need to do. And now login form, if we should come to back to our design, you can see we have this blank page. So let me just take this away. We can replace that with a logo or something. um, in the future, anyhow you want it, we can replace that anyhow you want it. But I'm just putting it there so that you know that, oh, we have that space and we can use that space for anything that we want in the future. So right here in our login form, let's just start with creating some layout design. So I'm just going to copy some css and get started with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we have the login, and if we check this, so we have the login right here. So let's start by designing this page to actually fit what we want. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create those inputs. Okay, so we want to create those inputs. So let's just create, we need an input. Okay, right here we need a we need an input for, right here we need an input for email, an input for password, and a button. So all those are going to be components of their own. So we're going to put them in a component of their own too. So let's go ahead and start with all of that. Um, you know what? Let's just put that to the next video so that we can just focus on components in the next video. So I'm going to go